as we move towards Christmas, we start to wonder what it would have been like to be a part of that story. And so today I've got a question for you. As you come all the way down the front, I feel like the seats are further back away than normal. Come on. If you received an invitation to visit a king, what would you look forwards to the most? I want the adults to start thinking about that. If you received an invitation to visit a king, what would you look forwards to the most? Anyone have any answers? Maybe endless chocolate? Or if you think it's like a Disney king, a room full of gold? Maybe a big banquet or a feast? Have you ever been to a big feast where there's more food than you can ever eat? I think it'd be a bit like that. A toilet. Well, I'd hope there's a toilet in the king's palace. In some of the ancient kingdoms, it was probably the only one in the city. But we all, when we think about a king, we think about richness, we think about majesty, we think about power. I'm going to tell you a story about a bunch of friends. This is a story that Luca likes, but I think even our parents will like this one as well. In fact, Luca asks me for this story most nights. The other day, he climbed up on top of his chest of drawers and pulled this story out and asked me to read it. So I thought it was a perfect story for today. So it was late at night. Let me see. There we go. It was late at night, and all the sheep were in their beds and fast asleep. They snuggled up, and Cecil snored when out of heaven an angel soared. "Wake up, sheep! Wake up," he said. "Stop your dreaming. Get out of bed. Listen, sheep. Good news I bring. In Bethlehem is born a king. He's cute, he's cuddly, he's 9 pound 10. So what are you waiting for? Visit him then. Visit the king. This will be fine, they thought. Tonight in the palace, we're going to dine. We'll start with pavlova, then peacock eggs fried, fancy fresh mushrooms piled on the side. Load up on lobster, some hash browns too, dunk in the dips, bypass the salad, and pig out on chips. They then finally finish with a small minty thing. That's what you eat in the house of the king. With stomachs rumbling, they leapt out of bed, charged over the hill, and then Cecil said, "Visit the king, way to go. Royalty always throw a spectacular show. There'll be jugglers and gymnasts galore. Sword swallowers, fire eaters, wait, there's more. Trevor and the bad boys will be blasting out tunes while deadly dirt bikes are ridden by hoons. Then fireworks shot from the boat in the moat, because that's how the king gets the popular vote. Down the Bethlehem road, they'll run at a trot. When Cecil yells out, 'Hey fellas, guess what? Visit the king, this'll be neat. Think of the people we're going to meet. The Belgium ambassador, the Sultan of Malta, the Olympic swim team, and a pole vaulter will dance the night away with Princess Natasha. She's style, she's elegance. With the beautiful people will be mingling. That's who you meet in the house of the king.' Down the Bethlehem road, around all the bends, when Cecil called out to all of his friends, 'Visit the king. This will be ace. Kings always live in a big fancy place. We'll slide down the banisters, swing from the drapes. We'll splash in the bath, swim in the lakes, slouch in the beanbag, skate down the hall, sneak out the back. Then when we've done it all, sleep in 4-posted beds with plenty of spring. That's where one sleeps, in the house of the king.' But in Bethlehem, they wandered around. The king and his palace nowhere to be found. And Merida said, 'Here's some suggestions. Let's go to the pub and ask for directions.' The publisher listened to what the sheep said, scratched at his beard, then shook his head. 'I don't know palace, and I don't know no king. But Princess Natasha's a pretty young thing. We don't do pavlova. Besides, you're too late. We've run out of schnitzel. The chef knocked off at 8. I ain't got no room. I ain't got no bed. Heck, the last lot that rocked up, I shoved in the shed. Visit the king while we'd come all this way. Let's head out the back and crash on the hay.' Out in the shed was this bloke and a lady. There goes our sleep. She's holding a baby. Those things grizzle, they howl and they cry. But then he's cute, he's cuddly, he's 9 pound 10. It was late at night, snuggled up with a sheep. The newborn king was fast asleep. Now, boys and girls, Jesus didn't come into the world under ideal circumstances. And I want you to know today that, Luca, come here, that Christmas is a time of excitement and anticipation. We can't wait for what's underneath the Christmas tree. But sometimes the best thing doesn't come from all of the richness and the goodness and the food. It comes from who we are gathered with together. And I hope this Christmas we can gather together with us and with Jesus. Thank you, boys and girls, for listening. So, well, let's go back to our seats.